Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of This Week in BJJ. I'm Budo Jake, and today we're going to talk about a brief recap of the World Jiu-Jitsu Championships, a new video series with Jack Taufer, and also an interview with Nelson Monteiro. Let's get to it. So if I look a little sleepy today, it's because the World Championships has just ended. It was 4 long days of incredible jiu-jitsu action. I thought this was one of the best World Championships in recent memory. There are so many stories to tell from the event. I can't do everybody justice by talking about all the great moments and amazing competitors that competed. So I'm just going to tell a few things that are still on my mind from the past weekend. First of all, in the brown belt division, Edwin Najmi was a submission machine. He demonstrated, he had 5 matches, 4 submissions. He had 2 flying triangles, a darce, a bow and arrow choke, and a steamer lock. And he won the final on points. That's 5. I can't even count, so many submissions. But Edwin looks so sharp, and I think everybody appreciated how much he went for the kill. And he was rewarded for that, not only a gold medal in the brown belt lightweight division, but his professor, Humaloba Hall, gave him a black belt on the podium. So congratulations, Edwin. It's going to be so exciting to see you competing in the black belt division. On the other side, sad news, Buchecha got injured in the open weight. He was defending a waiter sweep by Ricardo Evangelista, and he ended up spraining or tearing 2 tendons in his knee, ACL and PCL, according to the head medic. So he was out of the open weight division, and then he didn't even compete in his weight class. So nobody would have foresaw that. You know, we all expected him to at least gold and possibly double gold. So that was awful. But on the other hand, that allowed some other athletes to shine. So we hope Buchecha gets a speedy recovery. Then, you know, some of the most exciting pairings was Tim Spriggs versus Keenan Cornelius. You hardcore BJJ fans know that they used to be teammates at Team Lloyd Irvin, and they faced off against each other 2 times this weekend, once in their weight and once in the open weight. The open weight was on Saturday, and Keenan ended up winning that match. And, you know, what was going through my mind was, okay, Tim has all night to analyze that match and prepare for his fight against Keenan in the weight class the next day. And so I was curious to see how the match would look different. And I saw a brilliant strategy by Tim. He timed the takedown well and got 2 points when Keenan pulled guard. And then he stayed out of danger pretty much the whole match, but he was still trying to pass guard. It was a really exciting match. I hope you guys, that if you haven't had a chance to see it, you can still see the live broadcast on TWIBJJ.com. It'll be available for about 2 more weeks. So anyway, Tim Spriggs, great performance, and Keenan did awesome as well. I look forward to following their rivalry in the months and years to come. Other stories in the women's division, a lot of great women's matches this time. Rikako Yuasa won the 2nd gold medal ever for Japan by defeating Gazari Matsuda. Mackenzie Dern got her first world title at black belt. And Michelle Nicolini also, well, she actually lost to Mackenzie, so that was a really exciting match. Again, so much stuff. I can't recap everything. Just a few of the major stories here. Team Marcelo Garcia. Marcelo took a step back from competing. Now he's focusing on his students, and most of his students are relatively new black belts. He promoted his first black belts last year and this year. So, you know, some of them are still trying to find their way in the competitive black belt landscape. But one student of his, Dominica Obolente, she double golded. And double gold means you get a gold medal in your weight class and in the open weight. So there's only 2 chances for that to happen, 1 man and 1 woman. And Dominica was the one to do it. And she's a student of Marcelo. She's a brand new black belt. So that's a huge accomplishment for a new black belt to double gold at the World Championships. So awesome job there. And then another student that's training with Marcelo Garcia is Bernardo Faria. And he's the other guy. He's the guy that double golded. So both double gold medals went to Team Marcelo Garcia. Team Alliance. So amazing accomplishments there. Bernardo looked really sharp this weekend. Megaton celebrated his 20th, this was the 20th edition of the World Championships, and Megaton competed in the adult division. And this marks the 20th time he's competed in every single World Championships. That is amazing. So congratulations, Megaton. One last story I'll share with you from the Worlds was, well, two more. Rafa Mendes fought Cobrinha in the finals again, as most would have predicted, and it was a very exciting match. I won't spoil too much. I think you guys should try to watch it. I think it's on YouTube now. And the final story is two more 7-time world champions were crowned, Bruno Malfacini and Xande Ribeiro. They both put on dominating performances in all their matches, so great job to those guys as well. One more story from the Worlds. Possibly the most craziest story was the line for the Shoei-Roll-Gis. Anybody that was there live saw this line going across the whole auditorium, and guys were even camping out all night long in the frigid California weather to get some exclusive Shoei-Roll-Gis, so props to those guys for hanging out there. Okay, moving on. There's a new video series that we have recently released. We're releasing one episode each week. It's a 4- or 5-part series with Jack Taufer. And if you're not familiar with Jack, he is a student of, well, nowadays he trains with Rickson Gracie as often as he can, but he got his black belt from Dave Kama, who's a Rickson Gracie student, so he's really following a lot of things that Rickson's doing, and he's a very good teacher, of course a native English speaker, so he's able to break things down in a very clear manner. So he made a video series with us, and it's free on YouTube, and it is to benefit his nephew. Jack's sister has stage 4 cancer, which, as you probably know, is very serious. So any donations, there's a link to a GoFundMe account in the YouTube description, and any donations go to support his nephew for his upbringing. Okay, I also want to remind you guys about CustomBJJPatch.com. If you need any custom BJJ patches, this is actually our sister company. We make all of those right here at the Budo Videos headquarters. Super fast turnaround times, great quality, great prices. Check it out, CustomBJJPatch.com. Even Bushesha uses us. Okay, last thing for today is an interview and techniques. This is going to be with Nelson Monteiro. Nelson runs Gracie Barra Encinitas. From the last couple episodes of This Week in BJJ, you saw interviews with Splinter and the Black Belt speech by Robert Zepps. So this is our final part video series that we filmed in Encinitas. This is with the head instructor, Nelson Monteiro. Nelson's a very important guy in the jiu-jitsu world. Not only is he a 6th degree black belt, training his whole life, amazing teacher, but also he is the one that introduced jiu-jitsu to the Sheikh of Abu Dhabi. So the guy who started ADCC, he started his jiu-jitsu training under Nelson Monteiro. Nelson subsequently moved to Abu Dhabi and helped teach there for a number of years, so very influential in that respect as well. I think you'll enjoy the interview, and he shows a pretty cool technique as well, so let's get to that. So Nelson, first of all, I want to say it's an honor to be here today. You have a really nice academy, and I'm just sorry it took me so long to get down here.
I know, I couldn't wait anymore.
So there's so much to talk about with your story, but let's start in the beginning. Who did you start with, and what was your training like back then?
I started jiu-jitsu in Copacabana Beach with Carlinhos, and I remember exactly how many years I trained at Gracie. It was the only Gracie in Rio de Janeiro, and fortunately I was living in Copacabana with my parents, and that's where I grew up. I started jiu-jitsu when I was 14 years old, and then Carlos decided to move to Barra da Tijuca. Barra da Tijuca is a neighborhood in Rio, and I went with him, and since he opened the Gracie Barra, official Gracie Barra, I was there with him, and was a wonderful thing.
Well, it's hard to imagine that there was only one jiu-jitsu school in Copacabana, because now there's so many, one in every corner almost.
Yeah.
What was the environment like back then?
How can I say? I would say back at that time was pretty much Carlos, Gracie Barra, we had Gracie Maitá with Rickson Royler, we had Carson Gracie, and we had Alliance. So that was the, and Osvaldo Alves. So that was the 5 main jiu-jitsu schools in Rio, and pretty much the tournaments used to be between all those schools that I just said. And like today, the difference that at that time is not that we want to fight those guys or whatever, but it's like if you're from Alliance, I'm from Gracie Barra, we just talk when you're about to fight. Shake my hand, and then whatever happens, I don't talk to you, I don't hang out with you. And today, not today, but back a few years, I think this is over. Doesn't matter what school you are, and we can be great friends. We can even train it together someplace at your garage, my garage. But back then wasn't the way it is today, which is like I have good friends. I'm good friends with Regis from Gracie Barra. I'm friends with, you know, Johnny, and just to give an example of which we don't have that anymore. Right. You know, actually we try to help each other, because if he's growing his business, he's helping me to grow somehow my business too. So that mentality changed a lot with the years. So
of course we can't go backwards, and it's nice that everybody can work together more for the growth of jiu-jitsu as a whole. But as a spectator, was it a little bit more fun back then when there's rivalries and got one team fighting against another?
Yes, I would say until going back, let me think about it, because I spent a few years in Abu Dhabi, so I was out, and then I was in US, and then from US I went to Abu Dhabi. But my time, yes, jiu-jitsu tournaments used to be like people say, oh, this weekend we're gonna have jiu-jitsu tournament. It was like everybody looking forward to hang out at the gymnasium, to, you know, go to see a friend fight, which used to be a very nice environment to go, to hang out, to, you know, and some tournament, I can see this nowadays in some tournaments, but it's not the same. Mm-hmm. It's not the same. The way it used to be, the fights, you know, you expect, oh, that guy's gonna fight the guy, and oh, Rickson's gonna fight, oh, so-and-so is gonna fight, or used to be, I think it used to be unique.
Yeah.
It's not that that time was better than this one, but it was unique.
Right.
That's all I would say. What I'll do here, I'll break one grip. As I break the grip, I'm gonna bring my knee bend, and then I'll stretch. And I'm gonna sit up. I can grab the back of his gi, I can grab the belt, hand on the floor. So what I'll do, I point my knee to the floor. As soon as I do that, hug his hip, second arm as I move towards to him. There is a lot of pressure.